Hi, folks. Here, Eduardo Bolsonaro again talking about what is going on in Brazil.
I know his son, and that's probably why they did it.
Brazilian Chamber of Deputies, Eduardo Bolsonaro.
He's a brilliant, wonderful young man. He did it. He's outstanding. I'm very happy with that appointment.
The son of the president, who has been fantastic. Would you please stand up? The job you've done during a very tough period of time is just fantastic.
And today I would like to greet my friends from Hollywood, Leonardo DiCaprio. What is the name of that one that was used to criticize my father? Marco Ruffalo. Ruffalo. The people say, usually here in Brazil they do some jokes with the ruffles. It's a kind of ships that we have here. So these guys, together with the famous Greta Thunberg, the kind of people that they do everything to preserve the future generations, and they care a lot about Amazon, even if they never have been there. Take a look what about the news here in Brazil. Metropolis, October 10th. Fires in Amazon break record in October, says INPE. The state of Amazon reached a historic high of 2,684 forest fire outbreaks for the month of October. Then you have here Exame, July 4th. Amazon records highest numbers of fires in 16 years in June. This year's results are also worrying because the peak of the dry season in the north of the country has not yet arrived. Again, Exame, October 13th. What is happening in the Amazon? Fires turn day into night and break historic records. The number of fires recorded in Amazon is a record for the month of October since the historical series began in 1998. So, Amazon is on fire. Are you listening? DiCaprio, Mark Ruffalo, Greta Thunberg, or some of these people that were used to care about Amazon talking something? No. And do you know why? Because the problems are not the fire in Amazon. The problem it was Bolsonaro. Yes. They didn't like that much the style of the president that cared a lot about the people and some of his policies. So that was the problem. Now that they have a friend, even a Biden's friend in the Brazilian White House here, they don't care that much anymore. But I would like to highlight here too about how different press, how do they do the breaking news. So Global Group, they have the G1 is a channel of Global on internet, and so G1 came with the news. With 7,000 fire spots in September, Amazon has the worst fire month of the year. So you can think, okay, October, one of the 12 months of the year will be very bad, will be the worst one. So maybe it was September, why not? And they keep going on here. The number is above average and is recorded in a period of severe drought and after years of rising deforestation. So, the Amazon is on fire not because the current president is not doing nothing, but because it's too dry, and maybe this is Bolsonaro's fault because it's coming after years of rising deforestation. So I still keeping asking myself, when they will start to take responsibility about their administration and stop blaming Bolsonaro about everything. Because if something is, there is a good news in economy, they say it's Lula administration. If something is wrong, and look, we are in November. If something is going on, they say it's Bolsonaro's fault. But Lula took office in January 1st. So, are you Is it sounding like familiar for you, my American friends? Or maybe you outside of Brazil that also have this domination of the left-wing people on the media? So I think we all know what is going on. Other thing that happened recently in Brazil, it is the economy ministry. His name is Fernando Haddad. He got very angry with the press because the press was asking too much if the Lula da Silva administration will accomplish with their fiscal target. I mean, Lula da Silva administration, they have to find about $30 billion this year in the budget to finish the year with the accounts clear. But everybody knows that they will not accomplish with that. So that's why the economy ministry, Haddad, was trying to say that they will hit the target, but actually everybody knows that they will not. Anyway, I mean, take a look in the video.
Querida, eu estou falando para você, já falei a quarta vez que eu respondo.
Mas o senhor está tergiversando, ministro.
Para o Ministério da Fazenda, mas precisa validar na política as decisões que vão ser tomadas.
Existe uma percepção,
Obrigado,
ministro,
gente.
do mercado sobre leniência do Banco Central.
Anyway, they are rising a lot of the taxes. So in Brazil here, if you were used to buy, I don't know, something from US or from China, if this product is, the price of this product is lower than $50, you wouldn't pay nothing. But now, with Lula da Silva administration, now you have to pay. And the price that you have to pay is almost the same price of the product. So imagine if you are buying, I don't know, a product coming from United States, from Europe, from China, whatever. It arrives in Brazil, it costs you $50. Now you have to pay almost $100. And it's very sad because you have a lot of people in Brazil that leaves reselling this product that they buy very cheap abroad of Brazil. So the poor people is getting extremely affected with that. And the Lula da Silva administration, the Lula da Silva, the current president, he's very used to say that he's always helping the poor, he's always looking for the poor, a lot of social policies. But in fact, is that all of his policies about rising the taxes and this kind of thing is affecting a lot the poor people. But not only the poor people. The economic atmosphere in Brazil is bringing a lot of the foreign investors to invest abroad, to take their money from Brazil and send their money not only to the first world countries, but to countries like Paraguay. Brazil is losing this economic game. Remembering that with Bolsonaro, Brazil once again became not only the number 4 in the world, but we became the 3rd country in the world when you talk about receiving foreign investments. So Brazil is doing, Lula da Silva is doing everything the opposite of Bolsonaro, and the effects in the economy is starting to appear. But thanks God, Jair Bolsonaro were used to think about in a country in a long term. He had a project of country, not a project of power that ends in the next election, a project of 4 years. We had a lot of, I can tell you, about $150 billion in investment contracted to come to Brazil on the next at least 30 years. But the biggest part of this money will arrive in Brazil in these first 5 years. That's why the economy in Brazil, we are still doing not okay. That's why we are not that bad. If you get me. So what we are looking here is that Brazil is on the way to Venezuela. And you see that next year, the economy numbers, they will really appear. month after month, you can see on the press, you can see on the news that more and more people is taking their money out of Brazil. It's a record. Never ever in the whole history of Brazil we saw something like that. And it means that the jobs are going to somewhere else and not staying in Brazil. Because the money that the people would open a bakery, they would open, I don't know, a kind of office, they would hire other people to work there. This money is not here anymore. So the unemployment is going up for sure. And this is the time that you are going to see, and actually you are seeing now, this is the time that you see a different thing, because the government, Lula da Silva administration, they will say that the unemployment is going down. But the numbers, they will show something different. You start to see that it will have a conflict between the press that Lula da Silva is paying and the press that is independent, and the social media, and the people that are in the social media. That's why we got the idea to launch this program, because I'm 100% sure that what is the news of the global here, of the G1, the fake news media, this is the kind of news that goes to the other countries. If you see, is the kind of news that they reply in Le Monde in France, in El País in Spain, in The Guardian in UK, and the New York Times in the United States, CNN United States. And we have to break this bubble. That's why we have this program here, to give you an alternative to check and see that things are not going on properly in Brazil. And talking about things going on properly, our last commentary of this program is about our Electoral Court. In our Electoral Court, you have 7 judges. 7 judges. 3 of them, they come from the Supreme Court, and other 4 from other courts around Brazil. So, the Electoral Court that turned Jair Bolsonaro in a record time uneligible, this Electoral Court, they were speeding up, they were running, trying to judge Bolsonaro before of some of the judges get out of the Electoral Court, because the chairs of the Electoral Court, they are rotative. They don't stay there for a long time. They said they stay there, I think, average judge, they stay there for 1 or 2 years, a couple of years. But you have a news from the wall, a left-wing media, saying that Benedito Gonçalves, the man who became very famous in Brazil when he said a famous phrase for other Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes, he said to Alexandre de Moraes, giving some taps on his back, saying that an admission given is an accomplished mission. And then he went to the way for Lula da Silva and gave to the Lula da Silva the certification of President of Brazil. Which means that he received the mission and he accomplished the mission because Lula da Silva was elected. So this man, he is getting out of the Electoral Court. And the press is very upset because they were expecting that this judge, you have other, please, if you can edit the video and put the video of Lula da Silva giving some taps on the face of this judge, very close friends. Because this judge, he was responsible to judge a process with more than 40 Bolsonaro followers that were accused by Lula da Silva and the Labour Party to do fake news. I'm talking about a lot of congressmen that could lose their terms here in the Congress now because of fake news. But what is fake news? You don't have a definition for that. You don't have even a punishment, a previous punishment saying what is the punishment for fake news. And more than that, when you see the press talking that Bolsonaro supporters are doing fake news, they always say that we are doing fake news, but they never say what fake news. The content that was wrong in our post, for example. Why? Because we don't do fake news. Mainstream media, yes, they do a lot of fake news. And if you look in Brazil, in the elections of next year that happened in October of 2022, the Electoral Court, which the chair was Mr. Alexandre de Moraes, a justice from the Supreme Court. He was the chair of the Electoral Court. He and his friends decided that a lot of the posts that me, my brothers, and our congressmen that are Bolsonaro supporters here in Brazil must be deleted because it was fake news. And what was the content of these posts? Posts relating Lula da Silva and Maduro. Posts relating Lula da Silva and the dictator of Nicaragua, Daniel Ortega. Posts relating Lula da Silva and abortion or the legalization of the drugs. And now what you have is a lot of Lula da Silva's ministries saying that they are in favor of abortion, they are in favor of the legalization of the drugs, not only marijuana, also cocaine and some other drugs. You have Lula da Silva receiving Nicolás Maduro in Brazil and saying that Nicolás Maduro, which is a person searched in United States with, if I'm not wrong, a reward of $15 million, saying that Maduro would give to the world his narrative. He's saying that Maduro is someone that is suffering with fake news all around the world because Venezuela is a country in a good shape. And people is lying that you have a lot of criminality and people is starving in Venezuela. Do you know how crazy the mind of these people are? And you have a lot of others. So the Electoral Court should apologize, should say, Eduardo Bolsonaro, sorry, we know that we did something wrong. But no, what they do is they keep with the persecution. This process, where you have more than 40 Bolsonaro supporters accused of fake news, it will be judged, not by this gentleman, Benedito Gonçalves, by other judges. I hope, God, that someone more neutral, someone more impartial, someone more fair will judge these cases. Because, in fact, it would never be, it wouldn't never even been started this process because it's unfair. There is no substance to keep with this process going on in the Electoral Court. So, folks, this was this episode. Hope you enjoyed that, and I ask you all is to share it, to show your friends. If you are Brazilian and you have someone, a friend that speaks English, show to him. It'll be easy to him listen the truth about Brazil in English, because we know that we have very good people talking in Portuguese here, but not always this voice go abroad of Brazil. Thank you very much. God bless you. See you on the next episode.